bit too about what your program is and where y'all are going. But yes, hi everyone. My name is Angel. I am the Study Abroad Coordinator at the Office of Global Affairs at UW. I am joined today with Leighann and Courtney. Hi, you both. Leighann, do you want to start with introducing yourself and then Courtney and then
Sure.
talking a bit about the
Yeah,
program?
yeah. Thank you for those of you viewing and anyone that views the recording later. My name is Leighann Chaffee. I am a teaching faculty member here at UW Tacoma. I think I've been here for 13 years. I teach courses that serve the psychology and biomedical sciences major. And for this program, it'll be my fifth study abroad with students. All of the programs have been to Prague, but the last program and this one are like mostly centered in Prague. And I'll be teaching my psychology of food and culture course while we're there.
And hello, everyone. My name is Courtney Kroll. I'm the Associate Director of Study Abroad in the Office of Global Affairs. I have been at UW for 7 years, and I have not led a study abroad program for college students. I have done one for high school students, which I think has prepared me well. The reason why I'm particularly so excited about this program is because I lived in Prague in the Czech Republic for 4 years, from 2007 to 2011. Whew. And so I have a particular expertise in the area, and speak elementary Czech. So that'll help us a little bit maybe. And I'm going to be teaching the TIS 485 class, Study Abroad in the Social Sciences.
Awesome.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, thank you both. I don't see any questions from students just yet, so I'll go ahead and ask you one of the questions I had prepared. What are you most excited for students to experience in Prague?
Hmm. You know, we spend a lot of time and energy organizing the coursework and the pre-departure work and then our daily activities. But I think what is most rewarding is seeing students feel more at home in a new place and finding their routines and hearing students talk about the new coffee shop they tried or have they been to this park and just seeing that level of comfort in such a different environment as someone who's passionate about study abroad, that's something I look forward to.
And Leanne stole my answer. So I will just add, I mean, it's good. It's good that we both agree. I think that the other thing I'll add is um, I am really excited to show a different side of Prague and the Czech Republic to our students. Um, you know, I identify as a white cis woman, but I do understand um, that there is a large minority. There's several, minority groups in the Czech Republic, different to those in the United States. It's definitely not as diverse of a place, but there are still several groups, ethnic and other minority groups in the Czech Republic that I'm really excited to have our students engage with and learn about how some of their lived experiences might be mirrored in some other historically marginalized groups within the Czech Republic and sort of help us see that we're all a little bit more alike than maybe we think. And I am also really looking forward to Czech food. I think, and the program centers on food, obviously, psychology of food, but Czech food is hard to find outside of the Czech Republic, and especially in this part of the US. And so I'm really looking forward to eating a lot of food that I miss terribly that might have a bad rap, but actually is very delicious.
Yeah. Um,
Very.
it's It is fascinating to me the bad rap that Central European food gets when you think about the migration of people and the changes that have happened to the food pathway. To me, it's remarkable uh, how different cuisines and dishes have survived at all.
Agreed.
Yeah, so, and I don't eat very much meat in the US, but when I travel, I do, like as a treat when I'm in a special
Mhm.
place. And
Mm.
so I actually look forward to Prague ham so much. Yeah.
There is a lot of meat.
Yeah.
And for those students who are watching who are vegetarian or vegan, we can absolutely help you with that as well. But, I think embrace not necessarily trying, but understanding the psychology of why they do eat a lot of meat, for instance, or a lot of potatoes or beer, for
Yeah.
instance, will help us better understand the place that we're in.
Yes.
And I think it's
Absolutely.
a question, right,
I know,
Angel?
I do actually. I do see a question. Yes. I have a student here. Is actually, I'm wondering if we need to know the country's language to go on this study abroad. It's a great question.
I, Leighann, sorry, I'm too excited to not say this. I lived in the Czech Republic for 4 years, and um, I would say I speak like a 3-year-old, right? Like I can say, "Where's the potty, please?" Unfortunately, so I hope that doesn't deter anyone from doing this program. English is really widely spoken, very widely spoken in the Czech Republic, so much so that I had a hard time practicing Czech because everyone wanted to speak English with me when I lived there. I will say, and Leighann, step in, it's always handy to, when you're in a new place, to show, you can show respect by trying to say a few things in Czech, for instance, like hi, or goodbye, or thank you, or I don't speak Czech, or I don't understand. Could you speak English,
Yeah.
please? Which we can talk about, but there is no, it's a language you'll only use in one part of the world, one country, so it is not necessary.
Yes. I completely agree. A few phrases to open and ask politely if someone will speak English with you goes so far, and saying thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
With the
I
soft
know,
D. Yeah.
yes, I know a lot of times students have questions about sort of navigating the country, especially when you don't know the language. And you're right, it's amazing how much please and thank you and their tongue really goes. So thank you both for answering that. I guess I'll ask you guys the next question I had for you both. What is the coursework like compared to UWT courses? Oh, there's another question.
Go with,
Oh, yeah.
go with
Okay,
the
okay,
question.
yes, we'll answer the student's question. Do you see students traveling to neighboring countries while studying abroad? Is it easy to do so?
Yeah, every time I've run a study abroad program, students have traveled after the program. And this past time, actually, we had a little bit of, a few days where there was a break between finishing up our on-campus work and going to Prague. And we actually had some students travel on both ends of the trip because it's easy to do. Train fare is very affordable. You don't even have to plan that far in advance. So yes, it's
Mm-hmm.
easy to do, and I would encourage everyone to do so. And I always look forward to hearing what students are doing before and after our program.
Yes, I will add to the student, the way that the program is set up for the abroad portion is we will have a few days with nothing going on, of course, because we want y'all to be able to explore and get some downtime. But there really isn't enough time within the 3 week times that we're abroad to go to, another country. But absolutely afterwards or before, if there's capacity, that's totally appropriate. And while you're there, why not, right? You're already all the way over there.
I know that's the big exciting thing is when you're sort of abroad already, you just kind of want to keep going to all these other different countries. And I think Europe is really lovely in that you can just like hop on a train and go and you're in a whole new place all of a sudden. So
Exactly.
that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. I guess I can ask you that coursework question. So yeah, what is coursework like compared to UWT courses?
Yeah. So we're both offering courses that are UWT courses in the books. And so in some ways it's similar. The academic content before will start at the beginning of summer term. And then we start in country on July 23rd. So it's about a month. We'll meet 2 days a week, just like many other on-campus courses, and have in-class discussions and readings and assignments. However, the conversation, it's a little bit different than it would be on campus because we're preparing for an experiential learning. The other thing is if you've already completed the TPSYCH 404, the food and culture class, you can double dip and get credit again for it as a study abroad course because I offer completely different content.
And I think maybe some stuff to add, Leighann, from the study abroad side in terms of what we hear from students when they return from studying abroad is I think a lot of students have an expectation that because we're not sitting in a classroom, it might be less work. And I think that is not the best expectation to set, because yes, we're not going to be sitting down in class or taking copious notes or taking tests. But when you are abroad, we're only there for 3 weeks. Again, we want to balance making sure you have a break, but we're also having some really full days because we want to make sure that y'all can see so many different aspects of Czech life and how food and psychology work in that daily life. So what I think students are ill prepared for is the physical and emotional rigor that they might not have on campus when they're taking 12 to 15 credits, but also, living their normal life. So I would encourage students to think about the physical, emotional, mental sort of load of a study abroad program, not in any way to deter you, but to create reasonable expectations about how you might feel while you're abroad, because we will still be having assignments and things, but there's a lot of other pieces to the puzzle that you aren't normally engaging with when you're taking a course on campus.
Yes. I think I like how you worded the physical and emotional, like workload when we're there. This is something we're really lucky to have these opportunities to meet in advance. And so it's something we can talk about and prepare for as well.
Absolutely, yes.
I remember when I studied abroad, I think that was the biggest thing that surprised me was how exhausted I was at the end of the day. And it would be like midday or something, or like evening would roll around, and I couldn't get up just from like the sheer amount of walking that we were doing, and like all the sights and sounds and the tastes, and it was just all so new, sort of being in this absolutely different country. And and for me, studying abroad was the first time I'd ever actually been abroad to like a completely different country, and so I think for me, it was really shocking just how tired I was. And that's not to deter students. It was a good tired. It was a nice tired.
Yeah. Something our job is to help y'all create reasonable expectations. And if you are expecting to not walk a lot, then that's not reasonable, because we will be walking a lot, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. I don't think I see any new questions from students, so I'll just go ahead and ask you guys. I think maybe I noticed a lot of times students do ask about free time. And so what about free time? Because I noticed you guys said that, the field trips and everything you all will be going on, the day will be quite busy. Do students have sort of chunks of time built within their time abroad to sort of do what they would like?
Leighann, do you want to take this?
Oh, sure.
And then I'll add.
Yeah, in general, we don't start our required activities in the morning until 10 or so. There's some mornings that are earlier than that, so there's free time to get going at a reasonable pace. And then we either have 1 or 2 activities during the day. Sometimes it's a half a day, sometimes it's a full day. But then there's very few required evening activities, so nearly every evening is off. And then I believe we have it structured right now where there's a weekend that's off as well. And so there are a few days to do something fun. Yes.
Yeah. And part of the coursework that is required in the TIS 485 class is about finding somewhere in Prague that you didn't know about before, and thinking about how it connects with, the marginalized populations in the Czech Republic, and then leading a tour to the rest of the group about that. So part of the coursework is giving you time to explore those things by yourself, right? The students will do that work in groups, but I think Leighann and I both know from our time being abroad is that, of course, you want to be able to use the resources available to y'all within our group, because we have contacts with people, or we have really exciting tours and things planned because of the content of the course, but we also know how valuable it is for students to explore on their own. I mean, that's how we really grow and get that sense of independence and that sense that you belong to a place that isn't your home.
Absolutely, yes. And they'll get some kind of schedule, right, while they're in country that will kind of lay out what day to day, or at least what the weeks will look like while they're there, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, I meant that this Q&A should be actually fairly short, so I only have one more question for you all. What's one piece of advice you give to a student who's considering study abroad?
Go, Courtney. Go.
Okay. I have one particular for this program, but then one more broad. Well, I guess they're both not very particular. I think the first is for this program, thinking ahead of, before you go abroad about um, your own identity and how the assets that you're bringing into your study abroad experience and how your identity might shape your time abroad. And also learning about Czech people in their myriad ways, which of course we'll do in class. But I encourage people to do more of that work, because the more you try to understand beforehand, the deeper you'll get when you're there. And again, this is sort of, you could say this about any study abroad program. My more general advice is to do it. Any program. Y'all, in my job, I tell people what I do. Angel and Leighann have heard me say this a million times, but I tell people what I do and I get 2 of the same responses over and over and over again. And the most common is, I wish I would have not even done it really, but I wish I would have considered doing this. I didn't even know it was an option. So those of you that are here are listening, great job. You already are thinking about doing this, but I would encourage you to go further, because this is something that is going to change you and stay with you. And as someone who's traveled abroad a lot, I know there's value in that as well, huge value, but this is more valuable because you are immersing yourself in a place so much more than you would if you were just on a vacation in the Czech Republic. So I just really hope that y'all consider really doing this. And if you have barriers, which I know a lot of us do, talk to Angel and I or Leighann about how to help get over those hurdles. There's so many resources available to you. So please just really give it a real think. It's going to be potentially really sad if you didn't actually really look into it and then chose not to do it out of ignorance rather than, a real reason.
Yes, definitely agree with all of that. Consider studying abroad. We are so fortunate to have Courtney and Angel in the Office of Global Affairs who are so passionate about honing programs that are more accessible, that are available for students across a variety of majors. And so it doesn't matter if you're not a psych or biomedical sciences major, we can talk to academic advisors and think about how it works into your academic plan. And the other thing, I remember in college feeling so much time pressure to get through and to finish quickly and to move on to the next step in my life. And so if I could go back and talk to myself, I would say, like, you don't need to be in any sort of hurry. You're not on some train to some destination.
Yeah.
Just stop and do the opportunities that are available for you now, because they're harder. As an adult, people don't organize trips that you get to go on to learn more about cool things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to come by.
Absolutely both. Yes. Oh, go ahead, Courtney.
I was going to say, are there any other questions for the people that are here that haven't had a chance to ask questions yet? We had a couple.
A couple was good. Those were really lovely questions that, again, I always, as students sort of have popped in for advising, which our office does do. Students can book an appointment with me, and we also offer walk-in advising, and those hours are listed on our Instagram as well. But every time I do chat with students, it's a lot of those kinds of like kind of daily life sorts of questions, and just like how to navigate the country. And I think students just have a lot of fears maybe about, or concerns, I guess, about just like how to navigate a sort of new world, right? And I know this was definitely something that Courtney had kind of taught me working in the office, was a lot of us have the skills already to sort of navigate all these different new environments, right? A lot of the times, like with our different identities, we sort of learned how to navigate a world that maybe wasn't quite built for us. And that's something in our office we've really been trying to incorporate more and more into our messaging, is you do have the skills, you do have the ability to do these things, right? And it's as cheesy as it is, it's right there, it's within you.
It's true.
But and again, I'm always here to chat more about it too with students. And then the program directors are always available too to answer questions.
Definitely.
Their contact information is available on the program website, which folks can just find. All you need to do is with Google UW Tacoma Study Abroad, and then our Study Abroad page will pop up along with all the programs. And you guys can always reach out to Leighann and Courtney with questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'll Yes, of course, you guys. Thank
I
you
have
both for.
I have one more thing I just
Yes,
remembered to say.
absolutely. Yes,
So
go
for
ahead.
those of you who are worried about speaking Czech, you already know a Czech word. It's the word for hi and goodbye, and it makes you sound like a pirate, and it's ahoy. So you're good. We're good. You just say ahoy,
I didn't
our
know
meeting,
that.
and you'll be fine. It's a landlocked country, but it doesn't
There
matter. Um,
we go.
so take that with you,
Oh,
everybody.
lovely.
Yes.
Ahoy.
Also, thank you so much both, and thank you all to the students who joined. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Angel.
Of
Thanks
course.
all. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.